Hey, what's up, guys? Toogie here, back again with another episode of Draft to Glory Goon Squad. And in today's episode, we, of course, continue to try and win the Stanley Cup. That is the ultimate goal, of course. We are ready for another attempt, though, this season. We have been making some very solid progress. The past few seasons have been quite successful. The team is looking better than ever, although we are at a very crucial point, mainly yet again due to me leaving the morale system on. We are at a very crucial point where some people might not be all that happy about their playing time. I'm not that concerned about it at the NHL level. Everybody is pretty much good to go. Frank Kaufman, what a pick he was. He's already up on the top line. But as you can see here, the third line, everyone's at least a third line role. The fourth line, two fourth liners, and a depth forward. So that's not an issue. Defensively, whether or not Kenny McMillan starts to complain and Sergei Pushkarev, who was already complaining, that's another wait-and-see kind of story, but it is kind of a good sign that we have six defensemen who are at least top four in role or above. And then, of course, you get to our goaltending. Brodin, he's an absolute monster. The other main area of concern, the players that we're most concerned about, while there is concern at the NHL level, the players that we are most concerned about are guys like Green and Nabokov and Vance and Gustafsson and Roberts. We have a lot of players here. Finley, Burnett, I believe. Yes, indeed. Him as well, but not Grossman. All of these guys could be slightly concerned with their playing time. Most of those guys do have time on the power play at least, but we are prioritizing guys like Nestorov and Marty, Dick. That could... You didn't think I was going to say it, did you? That's because I wasn't, but screw it. We'll tack it on at the end. I want those guys, of course, to get the most ice time possible. So we have some we have some things we have to pay attention to throughout the season. But before we get that sim underway, we got some players to get rid of. The unsigned goaltender here, I'm going to leave him unsigned for one more year. We'll see if he progresses whatsoever. If he doesn't, he'll be out of here. But we have some defensemen to get rid of. That includes Bancroft, Raquel, O'Sullivan, Sanford, and Hartikainen. Those are the five defensemen that we are getting rid of here. And I'm so tempted... I don't even know where the hell I'm trading them yet. We'll try Philadelphia. I'm so tempted to kind of alternate now between just going for seventh or maybe trying to get a half-decent pick out of this just because I am super concerned about the morale system screwing me over. But I'm still going to be harsh here. I'm still going to make this the challenge it was always supposed to be. We will take back the seventh from Philadelphia. I may regret that. I might just regret not taking back a decent pick. That could really come back to haunt me. Let's see. We got Vickers, Elliott, Brody, and Kreutzer. There's Bodie, not Brody. Bodie, Elliott, and Kreutzer. These are the other players that are on their way out. Only Vickers is under a contract, so we'll make the deal with the Flyers yet again. Why not? We'll take their 7th round pick next year in advance, and there you go. So we have our lines optimized. That move, yet again, could come back to haunt me, although our locker room chemistry just went up by 11 points because I got rid of those players. So maybe, actually, hold on, let's go check. Who is happy about me getting rid of those players? I guess maybe because a lot of those guys were viewed as competition. Roach and Reefers actually regressed a little bit, although neither of them are unhappy about the move. Boy, the morale system, huh? Whatever. Let's just move on. McDonough's back up to a 95. I did just see that, rather than being a 92. Boy, the morale system in this game is an absolute mystery, but that's okay. Regardless, we will march onward. Let's sim this season, and again, we will hope that players at both the NHL and AHL level put their, push your ego aside, play for the betterment of this team, play for the experiment rather than yourself. We could do something special here this season. Be a part of it. Be a part of the solution. Don't be a part of the problem. That is my motivational speech for today. As the season sim is underway, we get a 1-0 shutout win over Carolina and then lose to Arizona. Apparently it's going to be a good year for rookies, which is always nice, although makes you wonder, is it going to be those middle rounds where it's kind of nice, or will it be the first 20 picks or so of the draft where it's nothing but medium top sixes and medium top four defensemen? It typically goes one way or another. I am intrigued to see, though, because over the past few seasons, I feel like we've been, overperforming, we'll say. Definitely performing beyond expectations in competing for President's trophies. What is this season going to bring? Are we going to regress a little bit? Who is the star of the show going to be? Is it going to be Brodin yet again? Are we going to see another Hart Trophy effort out of Marcus Brodin? Or will we need the goal scoring to finally show up? Will the goal scoring finally show up? I mean, so far, it's not really looking like it. 1 goal against Florida, 2 goals against Tampa, 2 goals against Vancouver, 3 against Minnesota. Our offense, I mean, we had a 5-1 win over Buffalo, a 4-2 win over Colorado, but we're definitely struggling to average more than 2 goals a game here, I'd say. I don't know, I'm struggling to do the average number in my head here, and I didn't even really want to put in the effort because I knew we were heading into December. But I'm intrigued to see how this is all going to pan out. Aside from that, we are 6 minutes into this video, and we have yet again hit the point where I am going to need to mindlessly ramble to make it through, at least until we hopefully get to the playoffs. That would be very disappointing to not make it this season. Connor Roberts has improved morale. We're actually going to stop this around January 1st, and I want to take a quick look at the team. Yeah, Pushkarev's not happy about ice time. That's not good. That's not good at all. Oh, man, leaving the morale system on has plagued this series. It was almost a new challenge in its own right by making that crucial mistake. 78 chemistry. Kaufman's leading the team in points. We are currently in a wild card spot, but that's not quite where I want it to be. So let's take a look here at some of the morale. Hopefully everybody's happy. Indeed, everyone's happy except for Chelios because he's kind of struggling this year, so he's just not happy about that. But ice time is fine. Pushkarev's back up to an 82, despite not being happy about ice time. Neither guy on the third pairing, McMillan or Pushkarev, are currently happy about their ice time. And because I'm not too worried about power play time, Kress is on the top pairing with Kaufman, right? Yes, or McDonough. That's what I meant. So we're going to go with McMillan and Pushkarev on the power play over McDonough and Kress. And hopefully that can turn things around for the two of them. We'll actually take a look at the power play. Everyone's a defensive defenseman, obviously, so it's not too big of a deal. McMillan has PK time already, so what the hell are you complaining about, buddy? Brodin, 935 save percentage. Not too bad. Actually, let's check the AHL. Do we have very unhappy players? It doesn't look like it. Most of the guys I was concerned about seem to be doing all right. And indeed they are. Nobody's complaining about ice time, so that's tremendous. Well, at least for on the offensive side of things. What about on defense here? No complaints, except from Grossman. Right, so Terry Grossman, you have power play time too. Get over yourself, buddy. Again, quit being selfish. Play for the team, not yourself. I mean, he's not getting called up. He has the lowest potential of any defenseman on the team, so he's just going to have to deal with it. And unfortunately for him, say we get to the draft and I get a medium top 4 defenseman, or maybe better, he's out of here anyway. So deal with it, buddy. Again, play for the better, play for the team, play for the betterment of the team. Don't worry about your own ice time. As it is, the Gulls have a half-decent record, kind of, sort of. If they can start stringing together some wins, we might see a playoff performance at the AHL level as well. I should have checked our goals for per game number. By the way, I didn't. That's all right. We'll be okay. Although at 27, 20, and 2, what do you guys think? Think there's a chance we miss out? I mean, we are stringing together some wins. I don't want to say I'm losing faith in this team this early on. Obviously, the thought of a division title is probably out of our reach, although the Gulls have hit 31 wins, so maybe at the AHL level we could see that. Probably not. There's always a team that only loses like 12 games a season. 32 wins now. Pushkarev's still complaining, so he can kick rocks. I guess we know who we're getting rid of at some point. I'll just have to decide. Oh, man. You know what? I think at this point, I mean, if we're getting rid of legitimate... I'm gonna change the way I'm handling getting rid of players moving forward. I think if it's a big-time player, say, for example, we have to get rid of Hines, right? I'm going to do the best possible pick I can get back for him, as opposed to what we did at the start of this episode, where there was just a whole bunch of players that we didn't need and that we couldn't use, and I just traded them all for a 7th. I think I'm going to go back to that style. Pushkarev, though, is infuriating. Like, what is your problem? You have PK time, you have power play time. I get it. You want top 4 minutes. You're not getting them. Deal with it. It's so annoying. Yeah, he's back down to a 78. All right, well, guess who's getting traded next season? I mean, as it is, we might have to make room for McMillan. Yeah, I'm sorry, Pushkarev, but there is... I mean, I'm going to have to piss off some people, though, to get rid of you. That's the problem. But, I mean, you're not taking a spot away from Likens. You're not taking a spot away from Hines. Deal with it, buddy. Deal with it. I'm not changing the lineup just to suit his needs. We've had enough history with Hines and trying to keep him happy throughout the course of this series. We are currently in one of 2 wildcard spots, by the way. We are looking like a wildcard team right now, tied with the Vegas Golden Knights in points. We have them beat on tiebreaker. So let's hope we can hold that spot, because I'm afraid to think of what the top team in the Central looks like right about now. And we got a big game against Vegas that we lost. We lost in overtime, though. We have another game coming up against the Golden Knights. I was going to say just the Knights. The Golden Knights, because some people might care. We got another game coming up against the Golden Knights on the 29th. That could be a major, major game for us, and we get the win. So we take 3 out of 4 away. 3 out of 4 points, that is, away from Vegas. We are on a roll here. You know what? I did stop the sim. I'm just going to go to the 8th before we get confirmation of who we're playing in the postseason. Let's sim these final 2 games. San Diego with 51 wins as well. Pushkarev, just, God, guess who's getting traded? We finished with a 48-31-3 record. 51 wins for the Gulls. A very successful season, and that late surge pushed us into 2nd in the division, which means we are playing the Vancouver Canucks in the first round. I don't know how I feel about that. That's kind of scary. That is only a little bit scary. At the AHL level, did San Diego win the division title? They didn't. Barely. They finished 2 points behind the Rampage. So we'll take a look at the teams, at the stats here. So Nolan Foote on the top line, 17 goals, 36 assists. Jay Graves had a strong season. Kaufman as well had a strong season. No one's complaining about ice time there. Chelios with 26 goals and 25 assists. 9 goals and 32 assists for Wharton. And 20 goals, 44 assists for Horkoff, actually, here. Just let me make sure that no one else is complaining about ice time other than Pushkarev. And he is really starting to decline. So, I don't know what we're going to do about him. I mean, I could send him down to the AHL and just make him absolutely furious before getting rid of him. I don't know. Because I don't want to swap out. I mean, it's going to have to be him that gets swapped out for Hines, I guess. Problem is, I'm going to have to get rid of somebody who is not happy about a decline in ice time. It's going to happen, right? Or who's not happy about, whose teammates aren't happy about them leaving, whether that be Pushkarev or Hines. More than likely. McMillan as well. I mean, we have 3 defensemen here, and only 1 spot on that second pairing with Likens. So, we'll see how that pans out. Hopefully, though, Pushkarev just shuts the hell up for the rest of the season. Suck it up. Let's find some playoff success. And then I will trade you Roach with 29 points. Not too shabby for the fourth liner. Defense, I mean, we might as well just check the points here really quick. I'm going to go check the hits and the shot blocks and all that anyway. But while we were here, because I knew I wanted to make that change, Brodin with a 931 save percentage. LaPointe as the backup with a 921. Brooks is up to a 70, which is pretty damn sweet. As you guys can just get a look there and maybe pause on your own time. Of course, we'll take a look at player progression once this season is over. So let's quickly go look at the hits, the block shots, all that kind of stuff. Maybe even the rookie race, although I don't think, aside from maybe Roach, that we had a name in contention there. So let's take a look here. Again, Horkoff led the team in points. Penalty minutes was Likens, actually, with 97 hits. There we go. 28 was the minimum for Koski-Ranta. 186 for Frederick McDonough. No real surprise there. Shot blocks went to Sebastian Kress. 121. The fights. 15 for Pushkarev. Well, I'm glad he was taking his anger towards me. I'm glad he was taking that out on other people and not me. Probably wouldn't be a good idea to punch your general manager in the face. So I'm glad that he didn't. Let's quickly look, though, throughout the entire league. Dotchin again, probably? No. Jay Fowler. Duke Campbell. Stu Cutler. Gilbert O.D. Marchessault. Right. Shot blocks. Was Eudes. Hits. Was Flynn. Okay, so we weren't quite up there. We didn't quite live up to that moniker of the biggest of goons. But, still we had a fairly successful season. Can you tell I'm kind of stalling because I'm really afraid to play Vancouver? As you guys get a look at the stats there. Justice is killing it as an AHL level goalie, which, I mean, is a medium fringe. It's kind of what you'd expect. Let's do this. Let's get confirmation. And actually, let's take a look at the Canucks lineup right now before the stats for the season roll over, since we know that's who we're playing to begin with. Let's take a look here. Vancouver. Top line of Nick Ritchie, 15 goals, 27 assists, with Dylan Larkin only 47 points, and Nikita Kucherov only 44 points. All right, he's 35 years old now, but still a top line isn't really getting it done, which concerns me because they could turn it on for the playoffs. You got Oscar Lindblom, Dennis Malgin, and Pierre Desbiens. Is it just me, or do some of these point totals seem very, very low? Third line, UC Vahalati is with Klim Kostin, who's 29 years old now at this point, and Gabriel Cochran, who put up 28 points this season. Fourth line, Nico Pakarainen. Right, 17 assists with Adam Masharine and Christopher Ein. Right, on defense, it is Jake Bean with Aaron Ekblad. Only a tad bit scary. Fred DePenta with 3 points this season with Brady Shea. Just get a look at his attributes. And the third pairing was Sven Axelson, former 21st overall pick, 96 offensive awareness. He put up 30 points this year with Josh Manson. Right, the goaltender is still Andrei Vasilevsky, currently showing up as an 87, but yeah, with that 936 save percentage, that explains how the Canucks found themselves in a third place spot outside of the wild card structure for this series. I think we've checked everything, guys. Let's get that confirmation, please. And we'll begin our postseason journey. Of course, the last thing I have to do is take a look at player progression, as I mentioned, once the season's over. So let's do this. It is playoff time. Again, I'm going to treat these games the same way. We're just going to sim 1, 2, 3. If it's an elimination game, we watch the third period. So here we go. First period of game 1 on home ice, and we get the first goal. Cedric Horkoff, and actually I remembered what I was going to check. I was going to check that goals for per game number because our offense is going to need to get it done against Vasilevsky. Second period, and Vancouver ties it. Nikita Kucherov with the goal. That sets up a stressful third period here in this first game. Again, we stole home ice advantage away from them Can we make the most of it? 25 shots to 17 in their favor. Third period. God help me. Cochran, Graves tied it. Malgin, and then with 5 seconds left, Lindblom, the empty netter. And the Canucks take game 1 on the road. 27 saves for Vasilevsky. And we are trailing in this series. The Gulls also managed to lose their first game. Not ideal. Not ideal by any stretch of the imagination. Let's take a look at where our offense ranked this season. Maybe even the power play and penalty kills since we're here. So goals for per game. I'm looking. We had a half decent offense. 239. It's not bad. Goals against. We had one of the better defenses in the NHL. I think we were just outside the top 10. Our power play was at 16%, which was, towards the lower end, but also in the middle. Our penalty kill was at 79%. That was not great either. So special teams is not a strong suit for us, which is really surprising. Given the amount of grinders that we have, you would think, we have some solid defensive ratings on this team. You would think we'd do all right. And actually, you know what? I'm going to go best lines here. And we're going to see what it changes up. It swaps basically just these two. But I want to see what it changes up for special teams. I don't care about Pushkarev anymore. He's going to get traded. He's the one player on this team. Now, it could have been a lot worse, as I mentioned at the start of this episode. This could have been the situation with most of our players. He appears to really be the only one that has an issue with not playing the ice time that he really should get. Anyway, game 2, first period, and it goes scoreless. 12 shots to 4 in our favor. We couldn't get the goal, though. Second period, we get goals this time, though. Kaufman and Zanetti. 15 seconds left in the period when Zanetti scored. Both shots coming from the outside, but we are able to finally put a couple of pucks past Vasilevsky while also keeping Vancouver off the scoreboard. Did I just jinx it for the third period? Probably. Let's see what happens. Can we tie the series up at 1 game apiece? Yes, we can. Dylan Larkin scored 48 seconds into the period, but it was smooth sailing from that point on. Brodin gets the win with 19 saves. Vasilevsky, though, with 30 saves, was your first star of the game. And that brings us to Vancouver for games 3 and 4. The Gulls also managed to win game 2 against the Tucson Roadrunners. Not all that excited about that matchup either, but a chance here to gain a little bit of a measure of revenge for both teams, we'll say. First period of game 3. That's another strong start. Trent Chelios with the opening goal. Second period is scoreless. 23 shots apiece. We are 20 minutes away from potentially taking a lead in the series. Did I just jinx us again? Hopefully not. Third period, and Jay Graves with the empty netter. The 30-save shutout for Marcus Brodin and the Anaheim Ducks. The Goon squad have a 2-1 series lead. A strong performance from both goaltenders, as you would expect. I can't speak. Both goalies are pretty damn good, to say the least, but it is nice to see that through 3 games we have the advantage. Will it last? Can we build upon that win to take that commanding 3-1 series lead, or will we be tied after 4 games and we'll essentially see a best of 3 from this point on? Let's find out. Game 4, first period, is scoreless. 14 shots to 10 in our favor. Second period is not scoreless. Roach gets the goal just under 4 minutes into it, 3 minutes and 50 seconds to be precise. Jay Graves scores with 19 seconds left to give us the 2-0 lead, but what could be a game-changing goal. Dennis Malgin with 9 seconds left, 10 seconds after the Graves goal, gets Vancouver on the board. It's now a 1-goal lead as we sim the third period. Will we get that 3-1 series lead? No, we will not. Lindblom and Larkin with the 2 goals, the only 2 goals in the third period, and the Anaheim Ducks throw away a 2-0 lead. We lose 3-2, and this series is tied through 4 games, and unfortunately, the Tucson Roadrunners continue to be a very dominant team at the AHL level, as the Gulls don't make it out of the first round. They lost in 4. Not a very good day. Monday, April 16th, 2029 will apparently not be a very good day for the Anaheim Ducks organization. Right. Okay. Back in Anaheim for Game 5. We have a history now of blowing leads in the playoffs, and I'm not a big fan of it. It's a best of 3. From this point on, Game 5, first period. And Dylan Larkin gets the opening goal, right? He didn't do anything in the regular season, so why wouldn't he start putting up a ton of points now? Second period, Kucherov scores. 2-0 lead for Vancouver. And of course, we didn't see a goal with like 5 seconds left to really help turn the tide. Third period, in Game 5, oh my God, Richie and Mascherine score. It's a 4-0 victory, a 22-save shutout for Vasilevsky. And we go from being 20 minutes away from a 3-1 series lead to being down 3-2 heading into Game 6. There's really nothing I can do with the lineup. It's just more a matter of, yet again, the team underperforming in the playoffs. I don't know. We'll take a look here. I mean, we're in desperation mode. Brodin's been all right. He hasn't been a game-changing goalie. Oh, man. We could maybe drop Hines back down and put Pushkarev with Likens. And then let's see here. Top line's been okay. Second line's been a little bit quiet. Third line and fourth line have been tremendously inefficient. I'm going to bump up Koski Ranta. I don't know who's the better center. It is Koski Ranta over Zanetti. So let's swap those two. Put Reefers on the right. And we'll go Roach at center. And we'll see if that works. Not sure if it will. Couple of minor changes. That's really all that we can make. I think we're going to find ourselves here in the same spot, guys, where we keep getting matched up with, obviously we keep getting matched up with teams in our division. The only way we wouldn't is if we finished in one of the wildcard spots. Unfortunately for us, the Pacific Division appears to be no joke. Game 6, the series and season are both on the line here in Vancouver. First period, and that is a decent enough start. Anderson McDonald with 2 goals. He's had some big playoff performances in the past. He gets 2 goals in under 2 minutes. Vahalati brought them back to within 1, only for Nolan Foote to score with 41 seconds left to give us a 3-1 lead at the end of the opening 20. Second period is scoreless. That sets up the third. It's an elimination game, so we'll watch it. Oh, God, Vahalati scores. I was going to say we'll watch it unless we can make it a 4-1 lead, and immediately Vancouver gets back to within 1. 7 minutes to go. Can the Ducks hold on to force Game 7 back on home ice? We have a late power play chance. We don't need it. Marcus Brodin shuts the door, and the Anaheim Ducks have actually forced Game 7. I'm sure you can sense the surprise in my tone. Vahalati was the first star. McDonald with 2 goals as well. No hits for him, though. Interesting. Marcus Brodin with the .931 save percentage, 27 saves And we have forced Game 7. The Ducks have home ice advantage, and it's going to be a factor here, hopefully. I don't know. I'm stalling. I'm nervous. I want to win this damn series. Game 7 against Vancouver. Let's do this. Can we get out of the first round? Or will it be another disappointing year for us? I mean, there have been positive notes to each year, but we have the type of team now where we should be able to get closer than we have been. One game at a time, though. Game 7, first period. Right. Nope, I'm not falling for it. I refuse. I am not falling for it, EA. I will not fall victim to false hype. You will not play with my heartstrings like that. I don't think so. Not today. Not today. We have a 4-1 lead at the end of the first period. Freddie got the opening goal. Cochran tied it. Zanetti goes off for 2 goals in 21 seconds? And then Roach gives us our 4th of the period. 4 goals on 9 shots against Andrei Vasilevsky. We still got 40 minutes to go, though. We still got 40 to go. Second period is scoreless. 23 shots to 15 in their favor as we begin the third period. We are 15 minutes away. Jesus. Okay, never mind. I won't get too hyped. Desbiens gets them back to within 2. We're halfway through the third period. Can Marcus Brodin and the Anaheim Ducks hold on to get a little bit of revenge against Vancouver? Yes, we can. Holy hell, we are out of the first round. We're not out in the first round. We are out of the first round. There's a difference. Of. We are making it out of the first round. Jesus, 4-2 final in Game 7. Abraham Zanetti with the 2 goals, 30 saves for Brodin. And again, we are moving on. Wow, so the disappointment for the Gulls, but nothing but pure joy, at least for me, as we are moving on. I'm fairly certain we're playing Edmonton in the next round, but I don't care. We are moving on to the second round of the playoffs. We have made it past the Vancouver Canucks, and for that, I am thankful. As you get a look at the point totals, Graves, Kaufman, Nolan Foote, that top line led the way. We had some solid performances from Zanetti and McDonald. Those line changes, I'm not sure how much they helped, but we did get wins after the fact. Marcus Brodin with a .927 save percentage. And quickly, just to touch up on this one more time, I'm actually really disappointed considering how many guys we've had on, or how many guys the Gulls currently have on their roster that have NHL experience with our team. I thought this could have been their year. Unfortunately, it was not. But that is okay because we are still alive. It's not draft time yet. We will play the Edmonton Oilers in the second round. Let's take a look at what we're up against. And my God, that center depth. All right. Let's break this down. Top line is Jake DeBruski at 5 points in the first round. Austin Matthews, only 6 assists in the first round. The reason I keep scrolling back to is I know some people like to see the attributes. Nathaniel Del Rio. I was going to call him Nate and then Nathan and Nathaniel Del Rio. That's all I'm saying. Nathaniel Del Rio, former 27th overall selection. He had 4 goals in the first round. Second line is Jerry Goldman, former 7th overall pick. He is with Reed Spezza, who is a monster, 3 assists in the first round. And Marcus Albaline, right, 94 offensive awareness, tremendous. Third line is Glenn Allison with Antti Heino, going with Heino, and Joe Veleno. So they have quite a few guys, like second liners playing on the third line. They have a first liner playing on the second line. Where's their, conflict, their inner conflict with players ruining the team because they're not playing on a line where they should. By the way, how badly did the Oilers suck? They have so many high picks. Like, you ended up with Austin Matthews. Why do you have so many high picks? It just doesn't make sense. The defense is looking all right. Nothing too crazy, but certainly good enough to beat us. I know, EA. Don't worry. You don't have to prove that to me. Adam Bogosian is their starter. He had a .923 save percentage in the first round. Santini and Harkins are the healthy scratches for whatever reason. Let's get down to business here, because this may just be an historic episode. Or maybe we'll crash and burn. Maybe we'll crash and burn in this series. Let's find out. They have home ice advantage, of course. First period of game 1, and we have the opening goal. It's Trent Chelios, 14 shots to 6 in our favor. Second period, and Del Rio tied it. Nolan Foote was able to get the goal back. We're basically even shots now. We have the 2-1 lead. Tough to say what's going to happen here. They fought back in a big-time way that period. Thankfully, Nolan Foote gets what could be a crucial goal. Third period, can we walk away with the win? Yes, we can. Kaufman with the insurance goal. Edmonton ended up outshooting us in that game, but it wasn't enough. Marcus Brodin able to get the job done. 32 saves in the winning effort. A 3-point night for Frank Kaufman. And we have taken game 1 on the road, which is typically a good way to start. You know, actually being able to win one of the games on the road to start a series, that's a good start. Now winning both, that, my friends, is a different story. Let's see if we can get it done, though. Let's see if we can get the job done. First period of game 2, and Jay Graves gets the lone goal. Second period is scoreless. 18 shots to 17. Graves' goal, the only of the game thus far. Let's see what happens. Third period, and Edmonton ties it. Jake DeBrusk forces overtime. Let's get right to it. Come on, boys. We can do this. We can do this. Please. Yes, Kaufman. I couldn't tell whose logo it was. I panicked. I thought we lost. Kaufman with the OT winner. What a draft pick he was. Thank God there's some leniency with being able to select the two-way every now and then. He gets the game-winning goal in overtime. 31 save performance for Marcus Brodin. Rightfully so, your first star of the game. And we have taken the first 2 games of this series on the road against the Oilers. Let's go. Let's go. We're not making any changes. This team is rolling right now. Everything is going so well for us. Let's see if that can continue. Game 3 on home ice, first period, and it's a goal apiece in the first frame here, the first period. Benson and Likens with the 2 goals. Second period is scoreless, and that sets up this third period. We're being outshot 28-18, but we're tied on the scoreboard. Who will walk away with the win in Game 3? And it's gonna be the Oilers. Right, the home team has yet to win in this series. Heino and Albaline with the goals. And Edmonton is not quite done yet. 30 saves for Adam Bogosian. And it's a 2-1 series lead now for your Anaheim Ducks. We're going to jump right into Game 4. That is our first loss. We won 4 straight ever since we made those lineup changes. Let's see if we can get back to our winning ways here. Again, it's the second series now in a row where we've had a chance at a 3-1 series lead. We failed the first time. Can we get it done this time? Let's find out. First period is scoreless. 8 shots to 5. A fairly defensive affair thus far. Second period is not scoreless, is it? Aronson and Kaufman with the goals. Now 23 shots to 13 in our favor. 2-0 on the board. We are 20 minutes away from a 3-1 series lead. Can we get the job done? 3, 2, 1. Yes, we can. Allison gets a goal 1 minute and 4 seconds into the period. We outshot them 40-19. The offensive effort was there. Adam Bogosian, understandably, is the first star of the game. But it's another victory in the books for the Anaheim Ducks. And we have the 3-1 series lead on Edmonton. It's time for Game 5. It is time for Game 5. Game 4? Yeah, Game 5. Jesus, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it's easy. I don't know. It's weird. The calendar was messing with my head. I'm like, wait a minute. Actually, I am confused. Am I wrong? Was it not showing Game 5 as us having home ice there for a second? Maybe it was. I don't know. Maybe I don't know what just happened there. I swear it showed our logo on the right side here for Game 5. Maybe I'm losing my mind. Maybe I'm just a little bit delirious because I know that this, again, could be a very special season for us. We have that 3-1 series lead on the Oilers, and this could be it. Game 5, first period, and that is a fine start. Anderson McDonald. He's proven himself to be a playoff performer. We were outshot 15-7, but he has the only goal of the opening 20 minutes. Second period is not ideal in the slightest. Benson and Del Rio give the Oilers the lead. That sets up this third period that we are jumping right into. 2 goals is all we need. Never mind. 3 goals is all we need. Spezza gets it. Let's be honest, guys. It's over. What? Oh my God. Why can webcam not work for me during this series? What? You are kidding me. I'm speechless, guys. I'm struggling to talk here. You know me. I just put up a 40-minute rant video about scouting. I'm often not at a loss for words. We just came back. 3 goals. 3 goals in under 1 minute to win the game and this series in 5. Chelios with 2 of them, Kaufman with the other. Oh my God. We are going to the Western Conference Final. Are you kidding me? Here's the thing. If I had webcam going right now, that never would have happened. We absolutely would have lost. They would have scored 17 more goals that period. Oh my. In one of the most shocking moments of this series, I would say, we have eliminated Edmonton in 5. The Colorado Avalanche have a 3-2 series lead on the Dallas Stars. We are going to the Western Conference Final after getting past Vancouver in 7 and now Edmonton in the second round. As you get a look, Frank Kaufman is the real deal, to say the least. We're halfway home. 8 wins down, 4 wins away from getting to the Stanley Cup. However, the Dallas Stars or the Colorado Avalanche will stand in our way. And let's find out who it's going to be. If it ends early, it's Colorado, and there it is. The 8-5 Avalanche, they have home ice advantage going up against the 8-4 Anaheim Ducks. Oh my God. They only had 43 wins in the regular season, yet for some reason... Why do they have home ice? More points, I guess, huh? Yeah, wow. They finished in third. Yeah, okay, wow. Oh, that's right, 15 overtime losses. Jesus. I was going to say, we had 5 more wins. Doesn't mean anything when they have that many overtime losses. They finished in third in their division, but had more points than we did. We will be on the road again for this series. Let's take a look at what we're up against in the form of the Colorado Avalanche. Absolutely unreal. Not the Dallas Stars, who they just beat. Oh, boy. All right. Top line, Mikko Rantanen and Connor McDavid alongside Valentin Zykov. Second line, Teuvo Teravainen is with Charlie Hudon and Eric Darling, former 9th overall selection. Third line, Boris Radulov with Lou Clarkson, former 10th overall selection by Philadelphia, and Carl Grundstrom, who has 5 points this postseason. The fourth line is Paul Arnott, an 18th overall pick in 2026, or the 18th overall pick. Kenny McCult, who has 4 points, and Brendan Gallagher. The defense is Ty Smith with Brandon Carlo. Darnell Nurse is on the second pairing with Francis Homer. The third pairing is Oli Mata with Jacob Trouba. The goaltender is 84 overall Rene Desrochers, who is not a legitimate 84. The highest overall a backup goalie can be is an 82. That is the level in which a backup becomes a starter. It's either the highest end backup you can get or the lowest starter that you can have. So he's definitely playing, oh my god, yeah, he's definitely playing above his overall. He has a .955 save percentage. Looking at their defense, I don't want to take shots at it, but it's not the most impressive we've ever seen. Their offense didn't look like it was doing anything too crazy. Nobody over 3 goals. There's no doubt this series comes down to whether or not we can finally be the ones to stop Rene Desrochers from just shutting everybody down that he's come up against. That is what it comes down to. The Western Conference Final, I feel like I said the Eastern Conference Final earlier. I might have. I'm so used to playing with teams in the Eastern Conference. The Western Conference Final begins now. Anaheim and Colorado. Let's do this. First period of Game 1. And it goes our way. Kaufman continues his ridiculous pace. We were outshot 7-5 that period. Pretty low shot totals, but we were able to get the goal. Again, our goal remains the same. Take at least one of these first 2 games. If we can take both, that's tremendous. Second period, and Ronson gave us the 2-0 lead, only for McDavid to get a goal back. That sets up this third period. Can we walk away with the win in Game 1? No, we can't, at least not in regulation. Zanetti made it 3-1, 35 seconds into the period, only for Rantanen and Darling to tie it. That sets up the overtime. Here we go. Overtime in Game 1. Are we going to blow a 3-1 lead in this game? We kill off their power play. We have one of our own, an extended power play. Holy shit, can we not score on this? How long is this power play? We deserve to lose. And we did. Brendan Gallagher with the winner. Oh my god, how did we not score, guys? Really? The hooking call on Zykov. Just before that expired, a high-sticking double minor on Nurse. And then, right as that expired, seconds later, McCult took a cross-checking penalty. Yet we couldn't capitalize on that. I forgot to look at the 3 stars. I mean, whatever. We had a 3-1 lead, and we lose 4-3 in overtime. Not exactly ideal, to say the least. All right. Game 2. This is as close to a must-win as you can get. We cannot afford to fall down 2-0 in this series. So let's make the most of this first period. And it's a goal apiece. McCult and Likens with the goals. Second period. Again, it's a goal apiece. Grunstrom and Kaufman. That sets up the third. We are dead even in shots. Dead even on the scoreboard. Can we get the win in game 2? No, we cannot. Oh my God. Darling scored 55 seconds in. And that was the difference maker. We just dropped both games on the road to start this series. That is as far from an ideal start as you can get. And I'm thinking at the very least we should take a look at our lines and maybe change a few things up here. Because that is... oh, God, that is unfortunate. I'm not happy with the second line's production. I'm happy with the Ronson. The third line's doing all right. And the fourth line, Reefers isn't really doing much. I don't feel like we're getting as much out of Reefers as we need to. Roach and McDonald are a solid pairing. We need to find a way to get more out of some of these players. I'm just not sure what that answer is, because Koski-Rant is doing all right. I don't necessarily want to drop him. I want to find a way to put Reefers into a more ideal role, and I think that involves moving Wharton and Horkoff. So I want to do something crazy here, boys and girls. Aronson, Koski-Rant, Zanetti. I'm going to go Chelios, McDonald, and Reefers. No, that's right, because McDonald and Roach were working so well together. How do I want to do this? Because we need to get Reefers more involved. Wharton has 3 assists and is a -5. You know what? I think this might be the way. Reefers is a better center. I'll play Roach on the right. Ronson, Koski-Rant, Zanetti. I'm just going to see how this works. Why not? Let's take a risk. We're down in this series. That second pairing is an absolute disaster. I'm going to blame Pushkarev, and I'm going to go with Likens and McMillan. Pushkarev and Hines. Yeah, Pushkarev, you know what? He's gone. He's gone. He is just... I don't know what he is, but he's done for. He's out of here. Let's go with... oh, man. I'm going to go with Collymore. He's a little bit worse, but he has potential to get better. We're going to give Collymore this chance. And again, Pushkarev's out of here. Once this season's over, Pushkarev's out of here. So, Neo Collymore will get the call up. He'll get the opportunity. He will play with Hines on the third pairing. We are mixing and matching here as much as we possibly can, trying any combinations that we can to get this team back into gear. It's time for game 3. Can we get the win? Or will we fall down 3-0 in this series and pretty much be on death's door? First period here in Anaheim is scoreless, 15 shots to 8. Second period is not. Oh my God, Rantanen and Clarkson with the goals. It's not an elimination game, so we're going to quick sim. Can we tie this up? Can we somehow come back and get the win? Or are we going to be in a very rough spot, to say the least? And we got the 2 goals we needed. We tied the game up. Foote and McDonald with the goals. But Clarkson gets one not too long after McDonald scores. Gallagher gets the empty netter. And the Colorado Avalanche have a 3-0 series lead. Oh my God. All right. Well, I think we're about done here, people. That is unfortunate, I must admit. Let's go best lines here and just roll with what it's suggesting. I'll even leave Kaufman on the second line. Why not? We got nothing to lose. He's been our best player this postseason, but we got nothing to lose. Game 4, on home ice, one game at a time. That is the only approach we can have, but it's not looking too good, is it? First period of Game 4, we do get the opening goal. Jay Graves gets us on the board. Second period is scoreless, and guys, because we're down 3-0, I know it's an elimination game. I'm just going to hit the button. Can we keep our season alive? 3, 2, 1, and we're going to overtime. Valentin Zykov with the goal. Overtime. Our season's on the line. Early power play chance. Come on, boys. Not again. Not again. The Goon squad is failing me right now. We're halfway through the overtime. Can we find a goal? Can we keep this season alive, or are we destined for double overtime and maybe inevitably a loss? We do, in fact, go to double OT. You know how this works. Don't blink it. You might miss it because it's going to end quickly. Will our season end here? Yes. Yes, it will. Carl Grundstrom. We get to the Western Conference Final and lose. And not just lose. We get to the Western Conference Final and we get swept. After outlasting Vancouver in 7 and storming past the Edmonton Oilers in 5, we lost in the Cup final. The Avalanche lost to the New Jersey Devils in the Cup final. A reverse of the 2001 Stanley Cup final, of course. That is a tough pill to swallow. That is our first real devastating loss. Kaufman killed it. Aronson did well. Brodin did good enough to get us there, but he wasn't at the level we've seen him play at in the past. New Jersey swept Colorado. That makes it so much worse. Oh, that makes it so much worse. Now, I know the Devils had won 3 out of 4 President's Trophies, and then they finally don't win it this year, and then they win the Cup. But still, Laine wins the Art Ross. Vasilevsky won the Hart, you don't say. Bachman to Norris. Lady Byng went to Verana. Calder went to Hall. Gibson, Vasilevsky won the Vezina. McDavid won the Selke, the Ted Lindsay, and then the Rocket Richard to Ricci on Ottawa. Did we take home any hardware in the AHL? No, we did not. So that trend continues. Oh my God, guys. I just... To my beautiful people out there watching this video, I don't know. That is as devastating of a loss as you will see. Wow. Oh my God, that sucks. That sucks so badly. Let's look at the progress reports here. I mean, we're getting there, right? We are slowly inching our way towards where we want to be, but we're just not there yet. And again, whether or not you look at the natural growth or statistical, that is up to you. We're looking for greens, though, primarily, because at least we know that's 100% true growth. Delzada went up by 3. Marty Dick's up to a 78. So he might be good enough to be on the roster. We know there's going to be more turnover. More players are going to have to go. We are going to take a different approach as far as trading players and how much we get back. So at this point in time, I will say, moving forward, that you are more than likely to see us end up with some higher draft picks more consistently rather than just 7ths. Because otherwise, I'm really just screwing myself over here. I mean, that is part of the challenge, of course, but I thought that combination of players might have been it. I thought we had the right team at the right time. And to get swept is the worst part, especially to the team that went on to get swept in the Cup final. Frank Kaufman, though, if we weren't sure about whether or not he was a good pick to make, I think we can confirm that now. Holtby, Mrazek, Pickard retire on the offensive or just skater side of things. Crosby retires 1 goal shy of 700. Sidney Crosby would never do that. I'm just throwing that out there in real life. He would play. He would absolutely play one more game. Even if he had to go like Bernie Mac, Mr. 3000 style, he would play at least one more game. He'd play half a season as long as he had to get that final goal. My God, though, what a heartbreaking loss. Now, we are an hour into this episode, so for the first time in a Draft to Glory episode, once we've gotten the season underway, or yeah, I think so, at least in this particular series, we might have done this in Goon Squad, I'm going to end the episode, guys. We'll have kind of a 20-minute video or so. The next episode will only be 20 minutes or so. We'll go through the draft. We'll get the team set up for that next season, and then we'll be back on track. But just because we went so deep into the playoffs and because I do have other stuff that I want to record tonight, I'm going to have to call it there. We will end on a devastating note, but we will be back in the next episode. Whether or not the draft works out well for us, it doesn't really matter. The key is player progression and what players we are going to cycle out. And of course, as I mentioned, we'll be getting back some higher draft picks as guys like Pushkarev are more than likely moved off of this team. Not the way I tend to run Draft to Glory, but considering my mistake at the beginning of the series, we are having to change a few things up. Regardless, I hope you did enjoy this episode. We will hopefully the players in game, where's that mechanic where they remember this feeling of soul-crushing defeat and come back next year more ready and determined than ever. As I mentioned, I hope you enjoyed. If you did, you know what you can do to support the video and the channel. Leave a like and subscribe if you have not already done so. Links are in the description to my Twitter and Twitch. And because I know some people will ask as we head out of here, I'll scroll through probably just the first round. Of course, there's no guarantee we're going to end up with anybody. I can't wait for there to be a franchise. Yep, there it is. Can't wait for that to be a franchise. As a playmaker, I wouldn't take him anyway. Holy hell, so many Canadians. Gonchar, though. Gonchar. Maybe. Have a good one, guys. I will catch you later.